Bonjour! Today I'm going to provide you 12 reasons why you should be learning French, and I'm going to throw in a couple other ones that I think count as well. Hi, this is Rachelle DeMeo from Belle Terre Academy. Bonjour, c'est Rachelle DeMeo de Belle Terre Academy. So reason number one, you might not know that French is spoken over 5 continents by 300 million people. You got it. So countries in Europe speak French. There's more than half of Africa that speaks French. Countries in Asia, in North America, South America, and a bunch of islands in between. So when you're thinking of a cool place to go on vacay, you might want to consider a French-speaking island like Martinique or Guadeloupe. How about that? Reason number two is it makes you so much smarter to speak another language. It actually is good for your mental health. I had a student come in my classroom once. She was in her 70s, already very well educated, so she didn't need the college credit, but she had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's and wanted to fight it. And she knew that by taking another language and by learning French, a language she had always dreamed of learning, it would make her smarter, which she was already pretty smart, and it would prevent Alzheimer's, which is exactly what it did. And her dream to walk the Pyrenees and be completely healthy happened 2 years later. So I was so proud of her. So it's so good for your mental health. Reason number three is that France is known for so many different things. France is known for the cooking, obviously. An American president's wife hired a French chef just to do the cooking for the White House. It's renowned for its cuisine, of course, but it's also, France actually invented cinema. You got it, movies. It's known for its beautiful music, architecture, any kind of visual arts like dancing, fashion as well, of course. French philosophy is huge. There's so many French philosophers. My favorite is Blaise Pascal. It's one of my favorite. And then obviously literature. So that gives you so many reasons to want to learn French, right? Okay, then that was just reason number 3. Reason number 4 is the heritage of the French-speaking world. Knowing that the French colonized a lot of places that now speak French, there's so much heritage all over the world. And so there's a lot of French immigrants. So regardless of where you are, you can always meet French speakers or people that are either French or that are from Guyana or that are maybe from Togo or wherever they're from. But you can meet people that are French speaking all over because so many people have immigrated, whether it's in the US or Australia or wherever it is, people have immigrated, right? So there's a lot of them. Reason number 5 is the international job market. So French is a language that really helps when you're looking for a job internationally or you're looking to work in international business or whatnot. French is one of the top languages for that. Reason number 6 is traveling. So did you know that there's actually more people that visit Paris alone, being a big city in France, than the entire population of France? Crazy, right? 87 million visitors explore France every year. France is actually the most visited country in the world, the largest country in Europe as well. And so being able to travel, not just to France, but all these French-speaking worlds is amazing because there's just so much to do there. From mountains to rivers to the beach to history that you can explore and just castles that you can actually go and stay at. I mean, there's everything. There's everything that you could possibly want, whether it's a big city or whether you prefer the countryside. And same with climate, with the weather. It's such a diverse country that has a variety, whether you prefer humid, cold, or whether you prefer dry, hot. I mean, you have it all. So that's amazing. Reason number 7 is for education. So a lot of colleges and universities really look up at the French language being the second most taught language in the world after English. So every country in the world offers French as a language that you can learn. And if you're considering taking it and you're possibly in high school, then you might consider actually taking AP French and advancing yourself so you can possibly skip even doing it in college and still receive college credit. You can actually test out of French and get credit for it. So why not learn it? Reason number 8 is that it's really a working language. What I mean by that is that it's the official language that is spoken in many places for the Olympics, for the UN. There's a lot of organizations where it is the top language. It is the official language. So if you're thinking of possibly pursuing a career think of it as it is the working language. It's the language that you really need in many, many companies. Reason number 9 is that it really provides a basis for learning other languages. French, the way it's structured, really helps. So if you're considering, you're hesitating, I'd love to learn maybe Spanish, maybe Italian, one of those romance languages, well, think of French as your basis. If you start with French, it's actually going to help you learn Italian, learn Portuguese, learn Spanish. It really helps you because it's a good foundation for learning other languages, because a lot of it, you'll see when you learn. That's all I can say. Reason number 10 is it's a very analytical language that has a very rich vocabulary. So as you learn it, you really can get into the mindset of the French-speaking world, and it's very profound. So if you're really trying to better yourself, and maybe you're one of those people that really wants to learn more about the subconscious mind, you're thinking, wow, all these things that I'm not aware of, but I'd like to study more. The French really have that mindset where you explore so many possibilities that are very intellectual. And so by the vocabulary that you learn that's very rich, that often relates to the English language, because a lot of the words that are in English are driven from the French and vice versa actually, well, you can actually explore the analytical part of French, and it really does make you a more well-rounded person. Reason number 11 is that you can use and practice French anywhere. There are groups, whether it's meetup groups or different websites, where you can meet other French speakers that are either native or learning or whatever it is and practice. Because French is so spoken, you can find people to practice language with regardless of where you live. And I can guarantee it. I know it. And sometimes it's really funny because you may say, wow, I never knew that I had a neighbor, that was from Congo and that spoke French. So you can really find that out, and there are many websites where you're able to practice the language regardless of where you live, and that's really key. Number 12 is for translations. So you might say, well, why would I need to translate? There are so many times where you can see a movie, because French is just, I love French movies. I absolutely love French movies. I don't want to talk about it, but too much. But you can translate the movie in your mind. If you know French, you can say, oh, wow, and you can help translate it for people. You can read the subtitles easier. In a lot of places, like in the medical field, they'll say, hey, if you need a translator for French or any language, then you can call. So you could be using it for translation, whether it's as a flight attendant or whether it's anything. There's just so many possibilities of using translation in the current or future job that you may have. So it is one of the top languages that's used. And actually, if you look at most videos, DVDs still exist, and you can look at the different options. French is usually the top language that's offered in the audio of the options of audio. So French is usually the top one. So that was 12 reasons. I know that went by like that, right? I have a couple more I want to add because I believe that they're valid, okay? They're not as scientifically based and they're not as research based as the 12 I just gave you, but these count in my opinion. So reason to me number 13 is that it's such a beautiful language. Come on, you gotta admit that it's one of those languages that you hear and it's very melodic and it's just such a beautiful language. So why wouldn't you want to learn such a beautiful language? It's very relaxing to hear. It's very just like flowy, and so that is one reason I think counts. And the last one, which I think counts as well, number 14, is the French humor. The French humor is really like none other, in my opinion. And I know many cultures and I've been around many languages, and the French humor is just the best. Because with the joke, the French joke, you can kind of build on a joke that there is and then add to it. And so the French humor is just amazing. So when you get to learn the French language and you understand the expressions and the slang and so forth, you can also understand the humor, and that humor is really medicine for the soul, right? Laughter is really so important. It's so important to smile and laugh every day. So if you get to know the French humor, you get to laugh more. Who doesn't want to laugh more? I do. Okay, I hope those 14 reasons were enough to convince you to learn French, and I encourage you in your journey. There are so many resources out there to learn French, whether you're learning French through like a book that I wrote or taking a course on Belle Terre Academy. There's just so many different ways that you can learn French and practice it and use it every single day. I encourage you to learn French because now you have 14 reasons that should make you want to learn French starting today. À bientôt tout le monde!